Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that I install the additional chairs in the drama room.
Buckle up for safety as I give you a day in the life of online. No, not online. I'm actually there. Facilities maintenance.
Been hauling these things out of our container at the other side of the school. One more box to go. There it is, the last one. Now, I was told that we had 9 extra chairs on hand that need to be installed. And based on all the pieces that I've been able to find here, now I haven't unboxed anything as you can see, but I do have 9 handrails, armrests. Let's call them armrests. I have 9 armrest sections. However, the configuration is different on all of them. This is the one that I was doing the testing on for the magnetic clip. This one here has a plastic clip, albeit a broken one. These ones are end units. You can see that panel that's attached to the side of them. Now, when I was looking at the end units over here before that have these end panels, I'm looking at those going, how do they come off? Well, I can see that there are a couple of bolts running right through there. And if I undid those, that would conceivably allow me to remove the end panel. Why can't I see those bolts over here? Well, because they are hidden underneath the cushion. So in order to get at those bolts, I need to actually remove the whole cushion. I pretty much have to disassemble the majority of each seat where there's an end panel in order to be able to add on to it. So in order to access this one, for instance, I'd have to take this cushion out. I'd have to pop the seat out. I'd have to remove this arm from the back and then swap it out for one of these that have, you can see, a double puck on either side, because I need that puck to accept this cushion and then the next cushion beside it.
These did not come with an instruction manual. I don't know my inventory because I don't know what's in the boxes. I assume that they're just bottoms and backs and basic armrests, and I think all the pucks would be in these boxes of small stuff.
These and more questions will be answered after I open up these boxes back here to see what's inside them. Got a Russian nesting doll here. More seat frames. Okay. So maybe I won't have to rebuild the end units. I may have to steal some pucks off them though, depending on if these come with pucks or if they're puckless. It's a major undertaking unto itself, just unwrapping all these things. It's going to be interesting to see how many I have in total. I did a full count of how many I would be able to put there and how many I'd be able to put there. I could put one more up there, which means then I could put 3 here, so that's 4, 5, 6. And if I put one down on the floor, that's 7. On the other side, I could go 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 1 for 12. So I could conceivably put 12 chairs in, even though we thought we only had 9. Or maybe it was that the fire marshal is saying we can only put 9 in. I'm gonna have to clarify that. I've got a whole nother box of armrest pieces here. Yeah. They belong to this group right here. I'm gonna have to take a inventory, see how many I have. Anyway, once I get an accurate count of everything I have, then I can start working on what it is I'm able to do. However, I don't want to have to unpack a box only to pack it back up again. Because the way they're packed right now with the strapping around them is nice. I'd rather just leave that and not have to touch it.
You know, these things were not packaged well enough for shipping. They've got this kind of particle board business down here, which is very thin. It's more like really tough cardboard. And it's shattered, meaning that these boxes were not handled well, they were just dropped. And the evidence of that is this one here. The one with the broken clip that came out of that box. See how it teeters like that?
Perhaps instead of bubble wrapping the outside of the boxes, I should have bubble wrapped the inside.
A full count has now been done. I've figured out what's in every box and I know what I have to work with.
Without any modifications, I have 12 armrests here. And I could put 5 seats over there and 7 seats on this end for 12. I figured out that these longer boxes here are my seat backs. I saw this clue here where it says back on the box, and these ones here it says seat. So it really depends on how many seats and backs are in the boxes. I have 3 backs over there. I need to open up one of the back boxes and one of the seat boxes to see what my numbers are and then figure that out. Bearing in mind that I'm actually allowed to put 12 seats in here because the number 9 is sticking in my head for some reason. So I might only be able to put 9 in. So we'll see. And again, bubble wrap on the outside of the box. It just seems so dumb. Actually, you know what that tells me? It tells me that the manufacturer knows that their packing inside the box is crap. Okay, I have 4 backs per box. That means that I have 12 backs in these 3 boxes, as well as 3 more over there for 13, 14, 15. So it's interesting that they sent us extras of the ends. I guess it allows you for more configuration, right? We've got 4 rows. What it means is that we could have put in 6 shorter rows, I guess, and had enough end caps to do the job. I can repackage these 4 end caps because I won't be needing them. Okay, inventory time. I have 13 center armrest pieces, 12 plus my 1 that I was experimenting with. I have 4 end caps, 2 left, 2 right. I have 15 seat bottoms. I have 3 boxes, 5 per box. And I have 15 seat backs, 4 per box, 3 boxes, plus 3 over there.
However, it is the end of the day and I am going home. While it will only feel like a couple seconds for you, I'll see you in a couple of days with a fresh start and a plucky attitude.
Good morning. Well, like I said, it was only going to be a few seconds for you. But it wasn't for me, it was a couple days. And in that time, our family had to say goodbye to somebody, something. It was very close to us, to me. And before I carry on with today's video, I would just like to pay a short tribute. Okay, well, it's a motorcycle, all right? But it's my motorcycle. The video helps me process, and, I make videos, but the way it helps me process is it's what selling the motorcycle kind of signifies, or landmarks. Over the last couple years, I've been experiencing lower back pain. I have degenerative discs in my lower back, and doing a job like I do doesn't help. I wasn't aware of them prior to doing this job, but all the lifting and whatnot involved in this job kind of brought the issue to light, and I went and had some x-rays and CAT scan done and confirmed that, yep, there's degenerative discs happening in my lower back. And so I have to try and manage that as best I can. Parts of my body are still really strong. That's kind of the problem. But I'm learning to respect the weaker parts, which is my lower back. I've also got a bit of a wonky hip. Now, that's due to a car accident that I had when I was 22. I got smashed up really good, broke my pelvis, actually crushed my pelvis. I was broken in 3 places on the left side. I did break my back, broke all sorts of other things, and spent 5 weeks in the hospital recovering. Took a few months to be able to start even walking again. And I was young and fit and fine for many years. And in my 40s, the aches and pains started coming back, and in my 50s, they really started letting me know that they'd been hurt. That's where the motorcycle comes in. I've reached a point where when I ride, sometimes my hip will lock up. It'll kind of seize on me. My lower back will get really sore. And when you're in pain, it just takes all the fun out of it. And so I've had to grieve that, let it go. And it's not so much the bike itself, although I love the Honda Valkyrie, the classic version that came out from 97 to 2003. It's a great motorcycle, and it's a big bike, and it fits me, and it's just so much fun to ride. And I have had to say goodbye to riding. Now, who knows? Maybe I'll get a little scooter at some point in time and just rip around on that once in a while to run errands. I don't know. But as far as being able to ride seriously anymore, I've had to say goodbye to that chapter in my life. And hence the video. Okay, enough of that. So today what I'm going to work on is these armrest chair pieces. I'm going to start installing those. Hopefully I'll get them all in today. They will go up here and over on the other side, same thing. And I will bring you in during my various stages of progress to catch you up with where I'm at and show you how it's going. And there are the bolts that I now need to undo in order to remove this armrest piece, this end piece, as well as I'll have to pop these caps and undo the nuts down there as well. Excuse me. There isn't even a bolt down here. Those guys. You can see here where they drilled a hole, or they started to anyway, that didn't work for them. Looks like they filled it in. They drilled another hole over here. It didn't fit. Okay, there's one in the back. I'm gonna have to grab a socket. I've got a wrench, but I need a 14 mil socket to get in there and access those properly. Be right back. All right. That's a good sign. All the backs are out. I've removed the end cap piece from the first row, and it wasn't just the front one. They had some issues with finding the spacing. This stud here was hidden underneath, under the foot, and I guess they saw no need to cut it off. They just let it be where it was. I have the end caps off and can now start putting the armrest pieces in that allow me to then attach another chair to the opposite side of that. Okay, so you see what I've done here. I have replaced the end cap piece, right, that's got that on the end, with one of these pieces, which will allow me to attach another chair. See, it's got a puck down here. It'll allow me to attach another chair right beside it. And I've also done the same with these ones. So I've replaced that one, and that one. So in this row, because that'll have another chair on the very end, so I'm going to put one in that top corner, then 3, then 2, and then 1 down on the floor. And that will take care of everything on this side of the room. And after I've done that, I will move all my tools over to the other side of the room and install the chairs at that end. So I am glad that I have this whole box of spacers here. So if I look at the existing seats, I've got one thick one and 2 thin ones. Then here's a thick one and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thin ones. And here is a thick one and 2 thin ones. Let's check some. Okay, they're all over the place. Here's 2 thick ones and 2 thin ones. Here is 3 thin ones and 1 thick one. Okay, so there's no consistency, or at least not based on their installation. Maybe they're supposed to be. Okay, I am going to go with a total of 6 thin plates and 2 thick ones. So I've split those up, 3 in 1 and 3 in 1. I'll put the seat back in and check my spacing then with a base, because the base will tell me whether the spacing is good or not, because it won't properly engage in these pucks if it is too wide or too narrow. If it engages in the pucks, then my consistent spacing is 3 in 1, 3 in 1, all the way along for everything that I'm building out here. Okay, moment of truth. I've put the end cap back on. I've tightened down my bolts. I've got 3 skinnies and 1 fat, 3 skinnies and 1 fat as my spacers. Let's go get a seat base and see if that fits. Brand new. It's got that new car smell. It is too narrow. Now I'm not going to remove spacers from the puck to get my width. I'll just pull that end cap off and then add another thick spacer and see where that gets me.
Okay, so I have continued to install the chairs on the ends of the rows. I've now got 7 of them in, and I am starting to second guess whether I can actually put this many in. I think it's too many.
Because of the edges of the drop-offs, I wonder about this chair and I wonder about that chair. Because you have the width of a chair to walk through here, and you have less than the width of a chair to walk around this one to get to that back seat. And I don't know if there's a minimum distance that we're allowed to cheat into where it reaches an edge where somebody could potentially fall off. You know, I'm thinking people walking up here, reading their program, not paying attention, missing the step. It's a very narrow distance for this drop off here, so I think we need to remove this chair and this chair.
So 7 went in and 2 came back out.
Yep, I think that is the best middle ground landing place we can get to, with a 3-foot wide path going up the side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional chairs. It was just too narrow. I know the fire marshal would not have liked that, and it's just not safe. I could just imagine people walking up here, reading their programs and whatnot, and not paying attention to where they're stepping. And while that could still happen, there's less chance of it if I provide them with a good 3 feet of space to maneuver their way up to the back. The other side is a little different, but I still have to respect the fact that people need an exit. And while technically I could fill in 2, 2, and 2 chairs for another 6 along here, that would only leave a very narrow aisle up the side. And you have to think about the fact too that if there ever was a need to exit in an emergency, you've got multiple rows of people spilling out into this narrow exit. So a space of 1, I think, can work up here. But I think when you move down to here, the next row down, I have to leave 2. Which means that for installing new chairs, I can put 2 here, 1 here, and then 1 on the floor. So 4 on this side. I think that is about all that we can put in and not get our hands slapped and not create a situation that could potentially be unsafe. And maybe somebody already planned all this out many, many months ago, because 5 over here and 4 over there make 9. Oh yeah, I can do that math. Which was the total number of chairs that I was thinking that I would be able to put in here in the very beginning. I was thinking 9, and I'm not really sure where that number came from. It could have come from me, for all I know. I could have looked at this and gone, yeah, I think I can put 5 over there and 4 here and leave enough space for exiting, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I came up with 9. But when I started unpacking all these boxes and took inventory, I saw that I had more than that. And so was thinking, maybe I can do more. But as it turns out, 9 will be the number. And this is the left side. What I did here was I added 2 chairs in the second to last row, 1 chair here and 1 chair here. And I've actually already anchored them in. This side's a little different. What I'm going to have to do is take a measurement from the backs of these feet off the edge of the stair here, and for alignment, then trace a small circle inside there to know exactly where to put my anchor, then remove this seat, then drill for my anchor, put my anchor in place, then put the seat back on and fasten it down. not going anywhere. Okay. Everything but the seat backs is done. And I even threw in a new wall plate while I was at it. So as far as putting the seat backs in is concerned, that's pretty straightforward. You just stick them in the plastic frames and 4 of these bolts. And that, my friends, is what it looks like with the bottoms and backs in place. Chairs bolted down. Well, the left side is finished. I still have to put the seat backs in on the right side and anchor those ones down to the floor. Now, before I anchor these into concrete there and wood there, and there, I am going to put the seat bottoms in. And because the seat bottom will dictate whether I need to make any adjustment to my width. Have I ever mentioned that when I cook, I like to clean up as I go? I guess the same thing kind of applies to doing a job like this. When I dug all this stuff out of storage, I didn't know what was in each box. I didn't know how many of things were in each box, and so I just brought it all over. As it turns out, based on how many we are able to install, 4 on that side and 5 on that side for a total of 9, I only needed to open, or I should say, I only needed to empty those boxes. So I've been doing a little cleanup and inventory, and at the end of the day, I've got a couple of unopened boxes. This longer one here contains 4 seat backs. This one here contains 5 seat bottoms. And over here, I've got 4 double-sided legs. Those are, it's the official name, the leg. They call it a leg. It's the official name for these ones that go in between the seats. I've got 2 more seat backs and 1 seat bottom in this box. And here I have 2 left end caps and 2 right end caps. The story on the end caps I found out because with end caps I could create technically 2 more rows. The story with the end caps was that the original wish was to have a center aisle, and which would have required then more end caps. At least 2 of these could have been aisles. We don't have enough to do all 4. But anyway, there was going to be a center aisle, and the fire department didn't like that. Not sure why. Maybe they wanted to do a center aisle and then go right to the wall. And maybe that was the issue. All right, I'm rambling. So anyways, I've cleaned up, taken inventory. That's all garbage. That's going back into storage. Those are going back into storage. I'm gonna go through all these boxes of spare parts and whatnot and organize what I need there. Man, endless supply of washers, a few bolts. These are like a 3/8 washer. These are a 3/8 nut. Yeah, so I've just got everything set up to come back tomorrow morning and finish anchoring the seats, the legs, they call them legs, the seat legs to the floor. And then I can install the seat backs, and then I'm done. Well, short of putting all this stuff away again. Because like I've said before, the job isn't finished till the cleanup is done, right? I guess I'll see you tomorrow, which again for you will just seem like a couple of seconds. on the deck here, I'm just using these big lag bolts. You just have to be very careful when you're putting these in. You don't strip them out. You just go until you're bottomed out, because it's 3/4 inch plywood decking that I'm fastening to, and I could blow the threads right out. In fact, that's what was done over at the other end, not by me. I discovered the previous installers, the last seat, or what was the last seat on this row, it's actually not holding. You can rock the chair and it lifts like this one. So I'm going to do something else as a solution for that. And you'll get to see that in a few minutes. Okay, let's go find that other seat that I need to put that anchor bolt in. And it is on this row. Should be yeah, there it is. Let's see how that lifts when I pull up on the seat. Now you might not think that's a problem, but when you got high school kids sitting in here and grabbing the backs of the seats and yanking on them and everything, what you need is everything to be anchored down as best as possible. They're gonna break it anyway. You've seen other parts of the school. But if this is loose, it's kind of like going after the slowest animal in the herd. They'll hunt it down till they've made their kill. Slightly different type of toggle bolt. It's called a toggler. I can slip that sideways like that and slip that in. Ow, my knees. And then when you pull these plastic pieces side by each, you know you're level down there. And this little guy fits down. Push that down as far as it'll go. That locks everybody into place. And everything just breaks off. It's quite a nice setup, actually. Now I gotta steal this washer off of here. Get that thing started by hand. That way I know I won't lose it. Yeah, that's got it. Okay, now I can bust these guys the rest of the way off. That will never go anywhere now. That is super strong. You are no longer the weakest link.
Well, That was a bit of a longer job, but when you consider not knowing what I had to work with and moving it all up here and figuring out what I can do with the space and unpacking everything and taking inventory and packing it all up again and putting it away, I'm done. Thanks for watching. See you next time.